In the past, education looked very different for students. Classrooms were in rows with teachers lecturing in the front of the room. Students who struggled were not included in the same classes as their peers. Students who had disabilities were not able to participate in the same ways as their classmates. And students who moved at a faster pace were often bored and unengaged in lessons. Things look a little different today. Jackson Memorial Middle School has nearly 1,400 students, all with different personalities, strengths, challenges, and abilities. JMMS staff use professional development days throughout the year to increase gains in targeted areas, based upon data. This year, staff participated in work days for English, language arts, math, and science. Item analysis of air test results helped staff this year develop curriculum maps addressing the needs of all students, and prepare common assessments to track student progress toward the goal of achievement. The building leadership team developed template forms for teacher-based teams to use in their weekly meetings. These forms help TBTs track their progress and communicate needs to the admin team. Each and every day, the staff at JMMS work to provide proper supports to help each and every student achieve their full potential. These supports come in different shapes and sizes. Let's take a look at 3 different examples. In these examples, we'll discuss 3 fictional students. These examples will give us a sense of some of the different ways student achievement is supported at JMMS. Meet Jimmy. He is a 6th grade student at JMMS this year. Jimmy is currently on an Individualized Education Plan, or IEP. This plan incorporates different interventions and accommodations throughout Jimmy's day to help support him as a student here at JMMS. This year at JMMS, our school has incorporated inclusion building-wide. Our intervention specialists work to fulfill different roles to help put students in the best position possible for learning. These roles include case facilitator, teacher of instruction, and student support teacher. Let's take a look at how these roles impact Jimmy. This is case facilitator Lindsay Fentner. Mrs. Fentner writes the IEP plan for Jimmy and sets up annual review meetings with Jimmy's parents, his teachers, his counselor, and his principal. She reviews all the data from testing, information gathered from his teachers, and input from home when preparing for Jimmy's meeting. Mrs. Fentner communicates any adjustments to Jimmy's plan made during the meeting with his teachers. This is teacher of instruction Katie Radish. Mrs. Radish works with Jimmy on his specially designed instruction detailed in his IEP. Minutes spent with Mrs. Radish each week are dedicated to building skills in identified areas of need for Jimmy. Jimmy receives extra help with reading comprehension. These minutes are built into Jimmy's student assist period each week at JMMS. Pulling Jimmy from student assist allows him to stay in academic classes and stay on pace with his peers. This is student support teacher Nikki Mickley. Mrs. Mickley helps Jimmy keep track of his assignments and grades in his academic classes. She checks on homework completion and stays in contact with Jimmy's core teachers. This support helps Jimmy ensure that he is earning the grades that he is capable of. Each and every day, Jimmy has a group of teachers that work with him on increasing his student achievement so that he can achieve his full potential. This is Bobby. He's a 7th grader at JMMS this year. Bobby has a Section 504 plan for his diabetes. Bobby's 504 plan establishes supports throughout his day to ensure that his medical condition does not impede his learning. Multiple people are involved in creating and implementing a 504 plan that supports Bobby's learning. This is Mrs. Carrie Ann Shoup, school nurse at JMMS. Mrs. Shoup helps relay information to Bobby's teachers and coaches regarding his health plan. Mrs. Shoup also attends any 504 team meetings regarding Bobby to help the parents, teachers, counselor, and principal with decision-making regarding supports for Bobby. Mrs. Shoup checks in with Bobby periodically to ensure that he is managing his diabetes properly. This is school counselor Joni Craver. Mrs. Craver manages Bobby's 504 plan. She sets meetings with the full team, documents accommodations put into place for Bobby, and then communicates those accommodations to the teaching team. During a recent team meeting for Bobby, his mom mentioned that he is struggling in math class. Through asking some questions, Mrs. Craver was able to determine that Bobby's diabetes was impacting him negatively at that time of day. The team brainstormed some accommodations that will help Bobby be at the top of his game each day in math. Susie is an 8th grader at JMMS this year. Through Stanford testing, Susie has been identified as gifted in the area of science. As a result, Susie has a written education plan, or WEP, that helps communicate with teachers where she could benefit from some extension activities. These extensions help challenge gifted students to continue to grow as learners. This is science teacher Lindsay Domingo. Mrs. Domingo works closely with her fellow 8th grade science teachers to develop learning extensions for her science class. Throughout the year, students have the opportunity to, when finished with their assignment, work in a makerspace lab area in the back of the room. Susie particularly enjoys coding and working with spheros. During extra class time, Susie has developed different lines of code to direct a sphero robot through an obstacle course. This is media specialist David Huthmacher. Mr. Huthmacher allows Susie to come work in the makerspace during study halls and student assist. Susie uses the 3D printer and laser cutter in the Learning Commons makerspace to create parts to use with her Sphero experiments. Each and every day at Jackson Memorial Middle School, we are working to help each and every student reach their full potential and maximize their academic achievement.